Hello and welcome back to the Cupcake Jemma channel with me, Gemma, and welcome back to everyone's new favourite toy, the Cupcake Jemma studio. I'm not going to lie, I literally love it here, and we all love coming to work every day. Which, not that I didn't before, it's just that this is such a lovely, calm space. It's quiet, it's bright, we're not in anyone's way except each other's, perhaps. Anyway, enough about this amazing kitchen. If you're in the UK, it won't have escaped your notice that this weekend it is the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. That means that she's been sitting on that throne for 70 blooming years, which is quite a long time. I imagine Charles is getting quite annoyed by now. Anyway, there's going to be loads of celebrations, loads of street parties. We get an extra 2 days bank holiday, which is really cool. So I wanted to give you something easy, summery, light to cook. And so I'm going to be doing this Victoria sponge recipe, but with a twist. Now this is based on the winning entrant of the competition to design the official Jubilee pudding. I believe the winner was actually called Jemma with a J, which is crazy, because there aren't many of us out there. Anyway, she designed this 7-layer lemon and amaretti trifle. Now, you know I love a trifle, I do, but by all accounts, this particular trifle had a lot of different elements, loads of complicated bits, and you guys, you need something quick and easy for your street party, I'm guessing, getting that vibe, you know? So, Victoria sponge, what could be simpler? But we're gonna lemon and amaretti-ify it. So I'm gonna start by making the filling, which is gonna be a lovely lemon curd. That's really simple. I've made this a ton of times on the channel, as have Sally and Dane. It's great. We've got a heat-proof bowl here. Glass or metal is fine. I've got 65 grams of caster sugar, 65 grams of freshly squeezed lemon juice. I'm also going to zest 1 lemon over the top directly. And then lastly, I have 1 whole free-range egg and 3 egg yolks. That's going to go in as well. And straight away you want to get whisking that, because if sugar and egg yolks sort of sit around with each other for too long, the sugar starts to cook the egg yolks and you'll end up with like gross gummy bits. We don't want that. So just loosen it up with the whisk to start with. And now I have a bain-marie, well, a saucepan with simmering water over here, awaiting my arrival, and it's set over a medium heat. I'm just going to pop it on and now stir it for 8 to 10 minutes and it'll become nice and thick and dollopy. Right, this is dollopy and thick, as you can see. So I've also got 50 grams of cold chopped butter here. I'm going to pop that in. That's going to stop it from cooking, but also create that lovely curdy, buttery texture, and also help it to like firm up a little bit, become spreadable. So just stir that through with your whisk until all the butter has completely melted. And what you don't want in your curd is all the little bits and pieces, so all the zest you did and all the eggy kind of wibbly bits, not very nice in your mouth. So while it's still hot, just pass it through a sieve. That'll get rid of all of those bits. It's just easier to do it when it's warm. Right, that is all smooth and sieved. So this just needs to cool down completely before putting it in the fridge. So just cover it with cling film and whack it in the fridge later. So it is sponge time. Now, this is obviously going to have to be a lemon sponge to keep with that like lemony, zesty, summery vibe. So I've got some very lovely soft butter here. As you can see, it's spreadably, squishably soft. There's 250 grams. That's going to go into my mixing bowl. I'm also going to add 250 grams of caster sugar. And I've also got another lemon here, which I'm going to zest directly over the top. Sally Della taught me that if you put the zest in at the very beginning, it makes the whole sponge taste even more lemony. I was always putting it in at the end. Now get that beating on a medium to high speed. You want to beat that for a couple of minutes until it's really pale and fluffy. Once the butter and sugar are whippy and pale, you can add 4 eggs, one at a time, beating really well after each one. Now, I always like to give my bowl a bit of a scrape down the sides at this point, about halfway, just so that I make sure all that butter is getting mixed in with the eggs. That looks pretty good. And keep going with your eggs. Pretty good. Sometimes it looks a little bit split. Mine actually doesn't, but if it does, don't worry. A lot of people get worried about that, but it's absolutely fine. Once you add the flour, it'll all come together. So I'm going to do that now, but I am going to sieve it. It does make a difference to your sponge if you sieve your flour. It just creates it a bit of a lighter texture. I don't know how, it's just kind of magical. So just sieve it directly over the top. I've got 250 grams again of self-raising flour. Shuffle that in. I'm also going to add a pinch of salt at this point, and that's just going to boost all the flavours. I always use sea salt because that's the best salt to do that with. And then shuffle that through. That's all right. And then, oh, where's my paddle gone? Oh, put all the way over there. So this just needs to fold in. So you can do this by hand if you want. I like to just do this with the mixer on the lowest speed. And when it's basically almost all mixed in, the flour, you can add your liquid. I'm going to put in a half a teaspoon of good quality vanilla extract, and to extra lemonify it, got to stop making up these words, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Lovely Jubilee. Ooh, I almost made a really great Jubilee pun, but it just didn't quite work. Anyway, I've got my lovely light lemon batter, and obviously I need to bake it now. So I've got 2 tins. I've got 8-inch round tins, which I like to just grease. You can grease and flour. I don't recommend greasing and lining though, because sometimes when you take the paper away from the cake, it pulls off some of that lovely caramelizedness from the side of the sponge. And actually, for Victoria sponges, that's kind of part of the whole look and feel, so, and flavour. So I'm not going to do that. So just grease your pans and pop your batter in. I'm just using a palette knife just to level the batter in the tin. It will do a bit of that by itself, but I think it's nice to get the ball rolling with a palette knife. And you should by now have a palette knife in your toolkit. It is one of the most useful pieces of kitchen equipment, or baking equipment anyway. So just do that with both of your sponges. And I have my oven preheated to 170 degrees C. My oven is fan assisted. And I'm going to bake these for 20 to 22 minutes until the tops are lovely and golden and a skewer comes out clean from the middle. It's nearly time to party. It's nearly time to party. But we haven't got a whole cake yet, so let's all just stop for a second and build this cake. Now, we're going to put the lemon curd in it, of course, but Victoria sponge wouldn't be a Victoria sponge without cream. I always find it a little bit weird when people put buttercream in Victoria sponge, because that's like heavy, well, it's not heavy, but like cream is light and summery and it's barely there, and you could kind of all taste like delicious air. So that's what I'm going to be putting in my cake, but I'm also going to be spiking it with the amaretto. So I've got 300 grams of double cream. I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of amaretto liqueur, and just to sweeten up a little bit extra, maybe like a tablespoon of icing sugar, just sifted in. Then I'm going to whip it up until it reaches a floppy peak consistency. So towards the end, you want to finish it off by hand. Well, you don't have to, but I think it always is safer. That way you don't over whip it. Also, I forgot to mention, if you don't want to use amaretto, if you don't want to use the alcohol, then look for almond extract just to get that almondy flavour in there. So just finish it off. I just use the actual whisks from the whisker. And as you can see, this is perfect. This is exactly how I like my cream. Floppy. Right, perfect. So I'm going to take half of that to fill my cake with. Now I've got my cake stand here. Now, it's not essential to have an ugly one, but if you could choose an ugly one, put that on the bottom. I think they're both pretty good, to be honest. So pop whichever one you like the least on the bottom, right in the middle of your cake stand. Pat him down. Now, as you can see, I'm not trimming the top or the sides like we would normally do when we're buttercreaming a cake. This is because, like I said, I think the caramelized bits around the outside are kind of typical of a Victoria sponge, both for the flavour and the look, so I don't want to ruin any of those things. So, start off by plopping a good amount of your lovely floppy cream right into the middle of the cake. Yum. I mean, I could just happily eat that as it is, but, you know, there's a lot more to do, and we did make this lemon curd, so it'd be a shame to waste it. So I'm going to start by just gently teasing out the cream. I think this might actually need a little dollop extra. Can you have too much cream? I'm not sure. So just tease it all to the edges. So you don't want to overfill it so it's all splurging out the sides, but you do want to see it between the sponges. Mmm, yummy. Now it's curdy time. I've always liked that song. So this is probably a little bit more curd than you need, but it's quite difficult to make a smaller amount. So apologies in advance if you have leftover, but also not apologies because leftover curd isn't a bad thing. You can have it on your toast, just saying. So I reckon maybe 1/2 to 2/3 of this amount is ample. And again, when you're spreading it out, you want it to be seen between the sponges, but not splurging out over the sides. This is going to be so delish, but there's still more deliciousness to come. So that's probably enough curd, Gemma. Stop adding more. And then we put the top one on. So this little beauty goes on top. Obviously try and line it up as best you can with the other one beneath. There we go. Ooh. And of course the weight of that will push down the filling a little bit, and if you've not gone to town with your spreading, then that's fine. And as you can see, we've got a little bit of the white and a little bit of the yellow coming through, which is so pretty. But he's looking a little bit boring, methinks. So I am going to put the rest of my double cream, which is, as we previously discovered, is perfectly whipped. And I've got a piping bag, a reusable one. You can get these on CupcakeJemma.com if you didn't already know. And I've got a nice star tip on there. And let's just fill that with the rest of the cream. You might think this is too floppy to pipe, but you'll be surprised. And also, it's still kind of thickening up all the time. Right. So I am going to do some little blobs all around the side. And these are going to be like little vessels for the final decoration. Oh, look at that cream. It's perfect. Little creamy crown. Delish. And I've got a tiny bit of cream just left over for me after you guys all leave me. And the last little bits are these Amaretti biscuits. Now, these really remind me of my childhood. We used to go to Italian restaurants with my dad when I was little, and they would come and give us these at the end, and they were wrapped in those papers, and then the waiters would come after and like wrap it into a tube and then light it on fire, and it would like fly into the air, and I just thought it was the most amazing thing. But the main thing is that these are really delicious biscuits as well, not just that the paper flies. So I'm going to crumble some of these lovely biscuits all over that cream. Yum, these smell so good. Right, that's my crumbs done. Now there's a couple more things. Victoria sponge is classically covered in like icing sugar or caster sugar. I like to do caster sugar on mine, so I'm just going to sprinkle some into the middle just to get that sort of classic look. Doesn't need much, obviously we've already got enough sugar going on in here. It's just for a little bit of sparkle, I suppose. And then, as if this couldn't get any cuter, I'm going to put some flowers on. Now, the best thing to do here is to use edible flowers. So make sure you either buy edible flowers that are actually edible, or pick flowers that you know to be edible. Or if, like me, you actually don't have edible flowers, but you do have some really pretty flowers in your garden, you can just use them on your cake, but don't eat them, just in case they are not what you need in your belly. I've got my tiny little adorable snip snip secateurs here, and Sally went into our little garden balcony and picked me the cutest little I don't even know what these are. Somebody tell me in the comments box. But they're very sweet, and purple is ever so regal. So just snip a few off, just as many as you need, and then we can pop them on top of our cake. Look at that little beauty. Oh, he's so cute and summery. And he smells delicious. I don't know why he's a he. He was a she earlier. I mean, I guess just be whatever you want, cake, you know? Anyway, perfect for a party, but alas, I am so alone. I need guests at my party, but I think I've got a little Sally Della over there, and maybe a little Dane Pemberton.
Yeah. We heard there was a party.
Well, there wasn't, but now that you're here, you brought the party, guys.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I love it. It's really cute.
Yeah, so pretty.
And
I like a bit of lemon curd peeking out too.
I know.
Yeah.
There's a bit around here that's like a
I
little
know.
lemon tongue.
This is what I'm looking at. Look at that. You know that's my least favourite noise.
You know when I said, don't let it splurge out the sides, guys? Well, let's just keep this one back. Anyway,
I like that bit.
other than that, it's perfect.
Yeah, it looks really nice and kind of summery and perfect for a party.
Do you want to try a bit?
Yeah.
Goody, because I do. Right, let's cut a little slice out of this bad boy. Ooh, soft.
That's so nice.
Mmm, give that a little white.
Good.
Let's get a big watch
Yeah,
because
big
there are
one.
so many of us. Oh, look at that.
Turn it this up.
Yeah.
Oh, beauty.
Oh,
fluffy.
so
Yeah.
fluffy.
Is the perfect sponge.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. So fluffy.
Who's going to take the first bite?
I mean, don't let Dane take the first bite because he'll
I'll
put the
take
entire
that.
Oh
thing
yeah,
in
you
his
get the small. I mean, they're all pretty small, but you get a
I
particularly
think you should
small
have the
spoon.
first bite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to tell me twice. Right, let's have a little. Ooh. Mmm. Yum. Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
I'm not
Oh,
very good
golly.
at this.
Lemon and amaretti are so good together. Oh, you get all the nice caramelizey bits.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Oh, here, let me. You just can't take them anywhere. What is wrong with you? This is really delicious.
That is really, really good.
I love this cream. When I was practicing this, I piped a load of the cream rosettes. The Amaretti biscuits is on a plate over there, and I've just literally, every time I've gone past, I've been taking a spoonful. That's okay,
I
right?
don't blame you.
Yeah, right?
That sponge is so soft and moist. And I love just cream and sponge.
Me too.
Me
It's really
too.
fresh.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I love buttercream, but sometimes it's just a bit too much, you know?
Yeah, this is perfect. tea
Especially
pancake.
if you're having a picnic or a street party. Anyway, if you're having a street party, let us know. If you are doing anything exciting this weekend, let us know. Even if you're not in the UK and you don't know what the hell we're talking about, this Jubilee nonsense, we still want to know. Let us know in the comments box below.
Yeah, and if you do come to London this Jubilee, then make sure you head to C&D Soho. We've got loads of like classic British flavours and a little kind of Jubilee special cupcake in there as well. So come and say hi.
Yep.
And Dane's going to be back next week with another recipe.
I will.
Tell us all about it.
It's finally those milk chocolate and passion fruit macarons that you've all been waiting for. So
And literally
stay tuned.
years.
Whatever.
Oh, hello,
Believe
he's
it
falling
when I
off.
see it. Oh no!
Oh, well, do you know what? It's fine because it just makes it easy to eat
Yeah, definitely.
in one layer.
We just keep going.
Yeah, go for it. Right, thanks so much for joining us, guys. We will see you next time on the Cupcake Jemma channel. Farewell.